So North Idaho has definitely been seeing some massive growth and changes, and wanted to just jump on and do an updated video. This is going to be a little bit longer, but with all of the reach outs we're getting and the clients that we've been helping, I'm understanding through their comments that sometimes these map videos and the local knowledge is helping you with your decision. I know it's just a small little town, or at least it used to be, but there are some definite pockets. There's areas that 5-10 years ago nobody was living that are now some of the hottest spots. So this will be one that you can pause, stop, comment down below, and interact with us so that we can answer the questions, but also one that's going to fill in every single nook and cranny and area of North Idaho so that you can find out a good area that you're going to like to live. And most importantly, a bunch of these areas in North Idaho that you can rule out. Like, you got to watch those north facing slopes. You might get socked in with extra snow. So if you want to learn everything about North Idaho and all of its beautiful areas, we're getting after it right now. What's up, everybody? This is Jackson Wilkie with the Living in North Idaho team. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to learn everything about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and enjoy that beautiful Idaho lifestyle, make sure you tap that subscribe button and click the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. And we are honestly getting so many phone calls, emails, texts every single day from people moving and relocating here. We absolutely love it. So thinking about moving anywhere in that North Idaho area, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to North Idaho. So like I mentioned, if you want to just, pause this, take notes, comment down in the section so that we can come back and answer questions. But what I want to do is literally just get straight over to the map and show you some of these areas and some of the growth that we've seen. So as you can see here, I've got the map pulled up and we're really centered around North Idaho. So if I zoom this out a little bit, you're going to get a little bit more of your barrier here. Here is the Canadian border. And if we go down, basically here is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where the majority of the relocation or search is starting and happening. So with that, Coeur d'Alene is kind of the heart and soul of North Idaho. It's what sparked the growth. Unfortunately, a few months back, we lost Dwayne Hagedon. He is well, if you're a local Idahoan, he's to blame for everybody moving here. But, for the growth and just the amazing things that's happened to this community with new schools and all the tourist attractions and now people moving here really was on him. And it was his dream to build this logging and mining town into something that it is today. So Coeur d'Alene's the hub of it, right on the north end of Lake Coeur d'Alene. And as for living anywhere regarded, close to this, it's going to be some sort of resale or, what we're seeing now is buying an old home, knocking it down and building up something fresh. So we will definitely be talking about Coeur d'Alene, but that kind of anchors it. And then for what we've been helping people with, the majority is from Coeur d'Alene all the way up to Sandpoint. Sandpoint's an area that is really starting to blow up. There is some new construction. The thing about new construction in North Idaho is it's not like these massive master plan communities. It's not thousands and thousands of homes. You're going to find pockets with, 5, 10, 15 new construction homes. They might be custom. The only place you're going to find a ton of new construction is going to be right here, what we call the Prairie. So it's really our only flat spot, because if you look here, this is a lot of mountains everywhere you look. In fact, if you're right here in these new construction neighborhoods and look 360 degrees, it's nothing but mountains. So this is really the only area that we have to grow with massive growth. So what I want to do, again, is just kind of start at the north, Sandpoint, Idaho. Okay. Fortunately, in the past 5+ years, they fixed Highway 95. This used to come right into the heart of downtown Sandpoint, and it was 25 miles an hour. So when we would head up north to Canada, or we even took this way to go over to Libby, Montana, it would take you forever to get through this little tiny town of Sandpoint at 20 miles an hour. Now they built this the pass here that goes through it. So worked with a lot of guys who worked in lived in Sandpoint, or even north of Sandpoint here, kind of at the base of Schweitzer, these kind of areas, that drove all the way into Hayden for work every day, when I was a lineman there. So I know people do it if you have to commute, but the majority of people moving to Sandpoint, it's lifestyle. Again, you're going to be kind of this is like the outdoor paradise dream. And I know Coeur d'Alene gets all the hype, but if you truly want like the outdoor paradise, the outdoor dream, Sandpoint's probably, and you're probably going to be able, and you're going to be able to stretch your budget definitely by headed north. Schweitzer because or Sandpoint, because you have Schweitzer Mountain, which is regarded as one of the best ski resorts, not only in Idaho but nationally, always growing. But being so close to, if I zoom out, Priest Lake, Idaho, some of this forest here, I shot the biggest buck of my life up in this area. Obviously, I mean, you can't pinpoint exactly where it's wide open, but from Bonner's Ferry, some of these areas, this is an old logging town. You come in there, you'll see the mill right there. But Priest Lake, everything that surrounds it, super sneaky right now. Write this down. Lion's Head on the east side of the lake, Lion's Head. You can actually get black trash bags and slide down a rock slide on their state park over here. It's really cool. So, again, all the hiking, outdoor activity you could ever want, from mountain biking, walking, hiking, jogging, running. Sandpoint is what people love. It's more of like a it's more of like a chill atmosphere. When we were young in high school, it just always seemed like the hippie area, is what we called it. Not totally hippies, but you're going to be a little bit more relaxed up there. And the hippies in North Idaho aren't like the ones you see in Dazed and Confused. Some of them are the ones who will need their 10, 15, 20 acres and privacy, but cool little downtown. Everybody from Coeur d'Alene, Hayden always heads up to Sandpoint for their car festivals or music festivals. They got a bunch of like food. It's got almost a cooler downtown theme now than even Coeur d'Alene does, with all its breweries and everything down there. So Sandpoint is an area, again, there's some new construction. If you see it, it's going to be almost kind of to the east of 95 here in the Cell area. Kootenai, there's stuff along the lake around here. So Sandpoint's an area that, is very popular. This is what's crazy to me, is basically anything that was in between Sandpoint and Athol was nothing. Yes, ranches all along here, 100-plus-year-old ranches, and you would see them off the road or head up, a little blacktail road, some of these, and get back in there. But for the majority of it, you didn't really see many houses in this whole stretch besides Lake Coquilala. It's starting to blow up. This lake here in the winter freezes up. I've seen feet thick of ice. A lot of great perch ice fishing in here. But man, Sagal, the only thing we knew about Sagal was the Sagal flea market. And back in the day, that thing basically just boasted a bunch of rebel flags, and that was it. We would come in here and go ice fishing at Mirror Lake when I was a kid down. Some of these lakes in here was really good for kokanee blueback. But now people are really gravitating towards some of these areas around Coquilala and Sagal. 3 acre, 5 acre pieces. They're really starting to build in here. And again, now you're on the south end of the bridge. This is a mile-long bridge, and if there's ever ice, traffic, wreck, whatever, you're stuck, right? So if you are south of it, you can usually, still get on 95 down to the south. We're not seeing a lot of people really, hitting up the Priest Rivers. That's kind of a different breed. You got to be a little tougher. I mean, basically, we always knew the kids growing up Priest River, Idaho. Those were the tough-ass kids. But it's just very rural up here. They do have schools and one little main street downtown with like a bar. Definitely had some brewskis there. But there's not too much going on in that area. We are seeing the growth in this Sagal to Coquilala area where you can stretch that budget. So if you are really looking for that property, getting the acreage, we're seeing it start to stretch up north of Athol. It used to kind of be Athol, Spirit Lake. Now we're getting into Kerrywood, Coquilala, and even Sagal, Idaho. So those are areas. And again, this is why you reach out to us, because it's all about location, where you need to be close to. If you got to go to Spokane all the time, you're not going to want to be, up in these areas. It's going to take you forever to get there. We know areas on the backside over here by the Hausers that put you right by Spokane, still get your acreage, or even Rathdrum per se. But yeah, you're going to want to reach out to us and just tell us exactly what you're looking for, the style of home, the size of property, because that's going to really dictate there's total differences in here. And having the local knowledge, we know all these little pocket areas that are building new construction homes all the time that will fit you. So coming into a little bit more populous, which again wasn't the day, Athol, Idaho, right here, right at the cross section. There is actually a Super One Foods. That's a big grocery store that never was there. Actually, before I got out of line work, that was one of the last jobs I did, running power here. So having a major grocery store here was really big for all the residents that live, down at Bayview. Even Spirit Lake has its own, Miller's grocery store, which you wouldn't need to go all the way to Super One, but it is a bigger one. But all these areas, a lot of these guys would come down here and work, do all their grocery shopping, and then have to go all the way back up north. But now you got a major store, lots of new construction going on, basically stretching from Athol all the way to Spirit Lake. We went in and vlogged Spirit Lake East. This is an area right here that is going to have tons of big acreage, places. Most of it's resale. There might still be a few lots available in there, but it's very private, and it is all dirt roads. So it's very, very dusty in the summer because, yes, it does get hot as hell in North Idaho in the summer. And in the winter, I mean, they do plow it, but, it's going to be a lot of snow in these areas. The one thing about 54, if you look at it now, remember this. Athol, Spirit Lake, Highway 54, this whole area right here is in what we call the snow belt. You will get 7 to 12 inches more of snow right here than you will in Hayden, Coeur d'Alene. There is it's absolutely crazy. Got a lot of friends that live in these areas, and we ran the power lines here. So when these snowstorms would hit, we'd have 4 or 5 inches, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene. Go up here, there'd be 12 to 14 inches. So this gets massive amounts of snow in the winter. Last year, this time of year, it was already snowing in September. So yeah, Idaho is a little crazy. That's not usually typical. Usually, I mean, even a lot of the Halloweens we trick-or-treated without snow. It's usually cold as hell, but you just never know. And just know you're going to have equipment in these areas. The soil difference between Spirit Lake, Athol, and like Hayden, Coeur d'Alene is completely different. You're going to find just a lot of like rich soil right here. Dirt, yes, you're going to have rocks. Obviously we dug a lot of trenches. I've grown up here my whole life, dug a lot of holes, worked on a ranch over here. So there is rocks, all over, but you're going to find a little bit more like a soil type, rich soil, and not as big of rocks as you see here. Where was I? Oh, zoom back out. 53. We would hit some of the stuff with backhoes, and it was like the size of small cars, some of these rocks. So you're going to want a tractor, equipment, definitely a snow. I wouldn't do a snow plow. If you're going to invest the money, I would have more of a snow blower. You can hook that to a ATV, UTV, to a truck. You're going to want to throw that snow. The problem in the winter is it just never gives up. It's relentless. And I've always found with my blades that you kind of carve this path, and your driveway gets narrower and narrower and narrower. By the end of January, February, March, you've got like enough room for one car in there if you're blading. Plus, now you've just made this like 9-inch thick layer of ice that takes till June to melt. So snow blowers, anytime you can throw that snow, is going to save you big time. So we see these areas, you're going to get plenty of acreage property. There's a lot of new construction going on right in these areas right here. Here's Silverwood Theme Park. Most everybody's heard about it. Some of the biggest wooden roller coasters in the world right there. So it's just kind of this whole area where we're seeing a lot of the new construction, as well as Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake back in the day, nothing there. I mean, they got literally a little town right here and old houses. And write this down. Again, I'm going to tell you all the sneak peek North Idaho things you must know. Right here on Main Street, Father's Day, they do the lawnmower races. Now, they do lawnmower races, all around North Idaho, but the one here in Spirit Lake, get your ass down there and watch it. It will be the greatest thing you ever do in your life. You will thank me later. The Spirit Lake lawnmower race is one of the funnest things I've ever seen. There's a guy that walks out. He's like 6'9". He's got a 10-gauge shotgun, and he launches that shit off to start the lawnmower races, and they race these things at 50, 60 miles an hour. It's insane. It is one of the coolest things. But yeah, Spirit Lake, all the growth, just new construction, anywhere they can buy up and build, they're doing it. One of my best friends, bought 200 something acres in here and is just putting houses all over. So it's stretching even up to Blanchard. Blanchard's got a killer golf course. This puts you, you're basically living in the national forest. There's a lot of fishing around here. You are just surrounded by mountains, trees, and yes, we're seeing people move. Want to live as far up Blanchard area. So again, this is kind of when you look at North Idaho, you've got the Sandpoint and the Coeur d'Alene, and right here in the middle, this is just people who want their space from Athol all the way to Spirit Lake, Priest River, Blanchard, these areas, and that kind of stays true all the way till I'll show a few more. We got Twin Lakes, so this is going to be the northern end of Rathdrum. So you do have some lake living here. There's actually cabins on the backside that are only boat in. The only access there is private roads that actually we used as linemen to go fix power lines, but that's it. So you have to boat across a lot of these to get there. But there's a golf course here. And again, if you want to write this down, the lightning bar is right here. It is an incredible North Idaho redneck bar. I love it. And Rathdrum actually has some of the sneakiest, best schools. You're not going to find a bad school in North Idaho. I'll just be brutally honest. Is the curriculum as top notch as some of these other states? No, not at all. Schools getting better compared to even just when I was in school. You know, I mean, having 100-year-old elementary schools where I went in Hayden, Idaho, to now, you know, some of these high schools that are like Coeur High School, the facelifts that these places got with multiple gyms and workout facilities. I'm a sports junkie, so that's kind of my thing. But the curriculum, it is getting better, and it is because of all these people moving here. You know, this town has increased its money revenue coming in because of all the relocation. But Rathdrum has great schools, and it's, you know, a little bit more of like kind of the country living. A lot of people don't really live like downtown, even though there is this patch of older homes. It's not very typical. They like to kind of get back up into any of these little side roads here off of 53. So this is something of note, right? It's 41 up here to the north, and then it turns into 53. And this is the back way to Spokane. So believe it or not, when I used to work in Spokane at Avista Utilities, I wouldn't, from Hayden, I wouldn't go down 95 to 90 and go to Spokane. I would cut across the Prairie right here all the way through, just straight line, and hit 53 and take that back. You'll see herd of elk out here all the time, deer. I mean, it's very country. There's some cool restaurants and bars along here, but it's a pretty quick highway that brings you right into Spokane. So just depends on where you're going. That's kind of the benefit of Rathdrum, is you're right by every major highway. So if you need to get up north to Sandpoint or anyway, you just take 53 across. You can take 41 straight down to 90 here, or you can take 53 in. So those are areas we're seeing a lot of growth. Now we'll come down. We're going to cover Hayden. I might be a little biased. That's where I'm from. I think it's the best area by far. The lifestyle here, again, there's not going to be a lot of construction. There's no room for it. Some of the latest construction is going to be over. You got the Hayden Lake Country Club, kind of some of these areas where, you know, actually the ranch that I grew up working on, they started developing. So the Rock and R, there's going to find some newer construction in here. You're going to have kind of that North Idaho feel to it. Triple fascias, a lot of wood, rock, stone, kind of country living. So it's right here. There's a couple mature neighborhoods. The one I grew up in, this is Emerald Estates and Pineview. So these are two that you're going to find more of that, like that quarter acre, third acre, and split level, you know, typical 70s neighborhoods, big green, you know, parks in the middle, surrounded by trees. We did a lot of cool stuff, you know, all in this area. We called it the Farmer's Field, but dirt biking, just shooting birds, whatever, man. We lived in these trees right here. So a lot of it's grown up now, but you will find, you know, some of that new construction going. If you do any of it, you know, it's going to be right in these areas, just kitty corner. This used to not connect Emerald Estates over into here. This was all the farm fields I grew up working on, but now is all new construction. Really nice custom homes by Rosenberger. The only other thing, if you want lake living, there's one more big lake property. It's going to be right in here. We actually, Connor, my partner here, has the listings on it. A lot of it isn't even up for sale yet. So if you want like prime lake living on Hayden, it's some of the last left. It's going to have its own private dock systems. Crazy cool. Make sure you reach out right away about Wildcat on Hayden Lake. But this is like the most desired area to live. This is called Lancaster Road. If you want to see a vlog, you know, we've vlogged all these areas, but Lancaster's one I went on. Gorgeous rolling hills. Again, worked on a ranch right here, you know, hay to all these fields. This is like your typical, man, get out in the country, but yet you're just like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Hayden, from the highway 95. Lancaster is one of the most expensive areas you'll find, but incredible neighborhoods. That's the one when you're driving every day to and from, you're just like, man, this is it. This is North Idaho, all wrapped up in one. You're surrounded by a gorgeous lake, mountains in every direction, all national forest. You zip up here to Hayden Creek, shooting range. Well, any of this is national forest. I mean, you're just in the middle of nowhere, and be careful up there. If you're not used to North Idaho, there's going to be tons of guns. People up here shooting guns all day long. That's where we go up there. You see the pictures there. You might see an old car in there that people are shooting through. That's the Idaho lifestyle. People don't want it changed either. But yeah, that Hayden area, you have the country club, and you also have Avondale Golf Course. You have 2 golf courses right here. I'm a big advocate of golfing. If you wanted the ultimate golfing lifestyle, I would live probably around the Avondale Golf Course. This is Avondale Lake, the lake I grew up fishing on. No motors allowed. Straight up just paddleboard. What am I thinking of? Pontoon boats and kayaks, that kind of stuff. So great little fishing lake. And there's obviously Avondale Golf Course. It's not pulling up on the map right here. Maybe if I hit the layers, it will. Yeah, you can see it there. Right here, write this down. The Porch. That is the best restaurant in Hayden. That's probably one of the best restaurants in North Idaho. Again, a little biased, but you will love the Porch. Get the corn pasta. It's amazing. So this is the country club. You can see if you live in any of these areas, you will see the majority of the people just riding golf carts. So you can basically get all around here via golf cart paths, back and forth. So that's why people love it. That's why we loved it, being able to just golf cart, anywhere here, living on the course and just zip through the course. Head down to golf, they have an incredible restaurant at the golf course, the Porch, and then the country club. Hayden Country Club is actually not near as expensive as people think, for joining. I don't want to quote numbers, but compared to what people are paying in other states, it's pretty affordable, and they got really great amenities there. So that's where you're going to meet a lot of people quickly. The living on Hayden Lake Country Club in here, million plus, but it's just cool. Like, it's my total style. And I know a lot of people like their space and their acreage, but there's also a lot of people who kind of just want, like, being able to boat right there, live on the golf course, take your golf cart to a restaurant. It's a really cool lifestyle. So you'll see that right in here. Let me get back out to the layers. So Hayden, not much new going on there, but it is very, very popular. Now, before we head into Coeur d'Alene, we're going to talk about the Prairie. So basically, this whole area here was nothing but farm fields. You do see that Coeur d'Alene airport. It's the Hayden Airport. You can, if you got your private plane, you can have hangars, stuff here. This is where the people flying with their private jets and planes and the Travoltas of the world. This is where they come into. But this is your typical, okay, I want to move to North Idaho and get that new construction home. 500, 400, 500, 600,000. And get a really nice big new construction home. Be around like the suburb style living, all the families, parks freaking galore, kids everywhere, never a dull moment type living. It's going to be right here in the Prairie. There's different neighborhoods that have completely distinct styles of homes. Some of them have big parks with concert series. So, you can just load up the wagon with the kids or the strollers and take them all down and listen to live music, meet everybody like that. Again, you just reach out and talk about those things, and we can direct you. There's certain neighborhoods in here that have a shop attached to the house. So if you want, to have a shop, you got a boat, you got an RV, you have all that sporting equipment, the UTVs, ATVs, and you don't want to buy a big property and have a big shop behind it, or can't afford it, or don't want to be that far out. They make the coolest houses here, where you can still have your 2-car garage, but attached is going to be the 14-foot bay door. Big shop. So very popular. You see that. Pole Line is one of the main roads, as well as Prairie. So basically everything in between Hayden Ave and Pole Line is where we see the majority of all new construction right here. The stuff that was like the new construction when I was a kid was all here, Coeur d'Alene Place. You're going to be right next to Lake City High School. It's like the third or fourth best high school, if you ask me. No, just kidding. It's a great high school. That was the new one. There was Coeur d'Alene High, and then it split in like 99, and there was Lake City came. Post Falls High School, in here too. So if you're in the Prairie, a lot of times you're going to go to Post Falls High. Great schools. All of them are all basically newer, updated, remodeled type, with Lake City being the newest. Post Falls actually got the new high school too. All great schools. You're going to be a can't miss in these areas. It's just finding the spot that fits you. So not much else to say. There's old Post Falls. The only difference is we've had a few clients reach out. They loved the living on the river. People don't think about it. Everybody thinks of North Idaho as lake living, which is the majority of it. But living on the Spokane River is actually some of people's favorites, and you will see probably some of the coolest houses and setups along this Spokane River. So people wakeboard, jet ski, all that right along here. It feeds right in, and then you can head right out into the lake. And I see, you can't see my cursor there, but you can see how it feeds right into the lake. So there's properties, and we did a video on this, the sneakiest areas for property in North Idaho, and we went and vlogged it, was south of the Spokane River. We've helped a couple clients get in here. Again, I ran the power lines in these areas. This is all very mountainous and treed with like private drives. So you're going to get, an acre, 2 acres, maybe 5 acres and a big custom home. And yet you're just like, you can come down some of these roads and get right to I-90 pretty quickly. And you also, downtown Post Falls area here, it's starting to get more restaurants and stuff. It used to not really have anything. Now it's actually starting to jazz up. These areas are all starting to get more restaurants and stuff. So you're a little more self-sustained. But, again, if you got to be over to Spokane, you can live in the country here and get right to 90 right away, or take the back road here like we used to. This goes right to the the Washington state line. So a lot of times when we'd work over up into these mountains and hills and these houses, we would just take 90 to the Washington border and then cut back right here on this road. So lots of options to get wherever you need. And the super sneaky is you have Greens Ferry Road right here, which takes you up over the mountain, drops you down, beautiful Cougar Gulch area, and then you can hit Highway 95 to go south if you need to. So I think it's a super sneaky area, very low property taxes in Post Falls, and especially south of the river. I'll mention before we get to Coeur d'Alene, if anybody's thinking more Washington for the benefits of no income tax or working there, Liberty Lake's probably the hottest area. It's kind of like Pleasantville. The houses are pretty expensive, but you have incredible golf courses. You do have the lake there. This is all beautiful mountains, a lot of tech companies. You're right next to I-90, very close to Coeur d'Alene, right in the middle of Coeur d'Alene and Spokane. Super safe, top schools. Liberty Lake's kind of a can't miss area. And obviously we're licensed in all of Spokane, Washington area. So if you need any of these areas, then we can help you in Washington as well. But Liberty Lake's probably one of the nicer areas, as well as Otis Orchards is a little more like prairie style flat acreage, but on the Washington border. So hopefully you guys are getting a lot on this. Like I said, I'm giving you all these stories and information on these different areas so that you can kind of pinpoint, okay, I like that, I don't like that. So comment down below a few of the areas that you're liking so far that you think would fit you and wouldn't. So now we're going to get back in. This is an area right here called Dalton Gardens. We did a vlog on this. Nothing under an acre. It is one of the most unique little cities that you will find, not just in Idaho, but just period. It's, to us growing up, it was just kind of a cool area. Had buddies there, we'd hang out, but now I get it. It's the place to be. In fact, my uncle still, lives there, tucked up into the mountains, got a lot of friends in here, because you get your acre, 2 acre, 3 acre, whatever, and your big farm home, but you are minutes. I mean, basically a bike ride down to downtown. You have the Coeur d'Alene High School and Canfield Middle School that you walk to. So you're right next to everything. Plus, it's just mountain living. So when you zoom in on Dalton, there's never going to be really any new construction ever in here, and I don't even think there's a lot available. We do find people who buy an older home on Dalton, tear it down and build like a big, nice, custom, modern farmhouse style, and have your acre, 2 acre, and be right in the farm. You can have goats, chickens, horses, you name it. I mean, it's country living. These neighbors, these people in here, you're going to have them over helping all the time. Maybe sitting in the driveway with your older friends and drinking a brewski. But yeah, Dalton Gardens, the closer you get to 4th Street, still going to be the same, but not as, this is a major throwaway. So maybe, a lot of the houses are built back in, so you don't really notice it, but you'll notice 4th Street's a very busy road, as well as 15th. These are kind of your main roads. Dalton stretches all the way almost, to 95, but this is called Government Way. So another major thoroughfare here, but this gets more industrial the farther to the west you go. But as you can see, all of this in here, Dalton, these are all going to be 1 acre, whether they look smaller or not. And as you look to the east, it gets bigger and bigger. So you're going to see those bigger properties. It's resale. That's reach out to us and be like, Dalton's my spot. We need to do some work. We know so many people. We know when things are coming available in a few weeks, in a few months. So we can get you in there. But this is going to be some of the most highly desirable areas if you want space, but not be so far from everything. And from your backyard, you hike up, you're in the Canfield National Forest here. Just watch out, hunting season. A lot of people hunt right in here. So I've had people go, oh my God, you have guns. Yeah, I'm hunting National Forest. So that's hunter harassment. You get down, you stay on the main trails. So, but if you stay on the main trails, some of the best hiking right from your back step, challenging hiking, very beautiful areas right here. And if you get up top, you will have views of all the lakes. You can sit up on these peaks right here, hike to them, and you can see Coeur Lake, you can see Hayden Lake, Fernan, all of these areas just from these peaks right in your backyard. Okay, so we're going to head to the south from Dalton and hit Coeur d'Alene. Again, Coeur d'Alene is very popular in that it's just, it's that resort town. I mean, you walk Sherman, you got all the coffee shops, restaurants, bars, and Tubbs Hill, 3-mile hike all around lake. This is where the majority of the pictures are taken. You have the biggest parks right here. Downtown Coeur d'Alene's it's the scene, right? This is when we got our license when we were 14 years old, 15 years old. We had the 215s in the back, bumping we were the whitest kids in America bumping Snoop Dogg, and you cruise Sherman. So Sherman's the cool spot. But there's total distinct styles of living. Anything to the north of Coeur d'Alene, this Harrison Avenue right here, this is going to be a little bit older and tighter properties. You may have better opportunity finding some resale in here that the house needs a lot of work, and you do that and you're going to have equity like you wouldn't believe. People are making a fortune in these areas doing that, right? Might make a couple $100,000 on some of these houses. It's tough. Again, this is why you reach out, especially Connor. Like he lived in this area, knows it like the back of his hand. But it's going to be usually a little bit smaller of homes. The farther you head south is when homes can start getting a little bit bigger. You'll still find those small ones, 2-1s, 3-1s. But as you got closer, this was Fort Sherman. There's some houses along here that are multi, family generational style home, big ones. And so you'll find those very unique 100-plus-year-old homes that are right downtown. This is the Garden District, Garden area, very historical. People just eat it up. You get kind of the bigger home. You're going to pay the most per square foot is going to be right in this downtown Coeur d'Alene area. You're going to pay for what you get, what you want. Sneaky area over here on this side is, any of this is the college right here. We call it Harvard on the Lake, but it is a college. This is where I played college basketball. And you have the Dyke Road, but there's a lot of really cool old homes in here that are right on the lake here. I think some of the coolest homes we have are right on this Lakeshore Drive. Super sneaky, but this neighborhood here is just sweet. This is all, there you see Fort Sherman, but the Fort Grounds area. So the garden area is kind of to the north, and then you have Sanders Beach area, and that's going to be, anything really south of here. You're going to see Sanders Beach. This is like its own little vibe, like beach town-ish. This is where Connor grew up, riding his bike over to Sherman, getting ice cream and burgers as a kid. And you have massive homes right on Lakeshore Drive right here as well. But these homes in here are super highly desired. The infamous Floating Green Coeur d'Alene Resort Golf Course is right in your backyard. You can see one of the holes from some of these roads here. But you're right next to that. This area here, we used to think East Sherman, and down here, it was a little dicey back when I was younger. Yeah, if you can believe that. This is really picking up steam. There's an East Sherman project. In fact, look up the wine bar. Connor, my partner on this, he started it there. One of the coolest little bars. Go down, appetizers, wines, beers, like the North Idaho vibe right in here. So the East Sherman project's starting to pick up. A lot of cool restaurants and stuff. In fact, one of my other buddies, Skylar, got the hotel's over here and is renting them out. So if you're coming, you can get a really cool Airbnb at these areas right here. And Michael D's, some of the best French toast you'll find in the world. So check out some of that for Airbnb, just coming and staying right in here. And that's really Coeur d'Alene. The other thing that, some people are actually going 95 south to the lake. Okay, we just had a $30 million house sold right here in Rockford Bay. So if you zoom in, you've got 2 different golf courses there. You've got Black Rock and Rock Creek. Very, very private, incredibly gorgeous mountain golf courses. You're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. A lot of these people kind of just live here in the summers, giant freaking mansion houses. And you have access, if you're especially at Black Rock, to their private docks here for boating. And other than that, really just looking at all this stuff, you've got living from acreage to more suburban to older style walkability, to beach living to river living. There's so many differences. And as you heard me just kind of picking off these stories, and we know these areas like the back of our hand. There's 3, 4, 5, 6 areas in North Idaho that you've never even heard of or saw that are like gonna fit you. And that's actually, as we've helped dozens and dozens and dozens, if not 100 clients move here, they always think they see an area on there that's like, oh yeah, I got to have that. And then we're like, well, hearing you, these other 2, 3 areas are going to fit you. And as soon as we take them through, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's it. So that's what we love doing. North Idaho is small compared to most, but it's very different. There's so much niche living, like I mentioned, mountain living to the prairies, to south facing slope, to north facing slope, to more snow, to less snow, to rivers, to lakes, to trees, to farm style, to suburban, and even condos. We have high-rise condos downtown Coeur d'Alene for zero maintenance. Just enjoy that lifestyle. So that's what we love. You reach out, comment down below real quick again what areas you're loving the most, or that you don't like. I don't care either way, just so we know, and we'll shoot more videos on it. But the only way we can help you find your perfect slice of North Idaho is you have to reach out. You got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to North Idaho. And until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later.